This is Richard Smith with the Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour podcast, where we talk about all things Kansas City Chiefs. Well, good morning, Kansas City. It is Tuesday, July 23rd, the last day in July. Wow, I cannot believe we're already here, Chiefs fans. Hey, this is something amazing. We're getting ready to head into the preseason, and training camp is about wrapping up. We got a few days left here in training camp, and we're gonna move on into the preseason. I'm just really, really excited about what is entailed for the Kansas City Chiefs. Today we're going to talk about a lot. We really have a full episode today. I'm extremely excited about that. I've got an interview with Andy Reid that I'm going to put on the broadcast today. The Chiefs held their first full team practice on Monday. There's no video content available on this practice, and that is strictly because, well, as Chiefs Kingdom and Kansas City Chiefs, we don't want other teams to see what we're going to put on the field. So I love that. So, sometimes we get frustrated and want to know what's going on with our Kansas City Chiefs. And, we love to see video, but this is the deal, We've got to understand that, there's some sharks around the league that really, really like to tap into what each organization is doing, and I'm not going to mention any team names or any specifics, but I think we have a pretty good idea of who qualifies for those spots. But that's a part of the NFL. It's a business. We're out to win Super Bowls, and you expect that. Although we don't like cheaters here in the NFL or here in Kansas City, you never know. So I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to ruffle any feathers here, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the injury report. Reggie Ragland still not on the field due to knee injury. Starting to get worried about that. And there's not really too much to that has been said about that, and I wish the Chiefs would kind of enlighten us and touch base on that and kind of let us know where Ragland is, but that doesn't seem to be the case right now. Cornerback Keith Reeser has a quad strain, suffered in practice on the 29th, so he's not practicing as well. Ashton Lampkin, he has missed the entire camp as he recovers from an ACL surgery, so I'm hoping that we can get him back on the field here before preseason starts. Charkandrick West suffered a concussion on the 28th, as I touched base on that in the last podcast. So, that it's not a big injury report. There's not a lot to talk about with that, but we would sure like to get these guys back on the field. And West and Ragland and Reeves, really all of them, we really need them out there. So I hope that they're, taking things seriously. I hope that our medical staff, I don't say I hope, obviously our medical staff is really, really doing their job, and we have one of the best in the NFL. So I don't really worry about it too much. These aren't, huge injuries, but we'd like to get them back on the field. West is walking around in practice with high spirits and, communicating with the team and such, which he always has high spirits. Funny guy, big personality, and it's nice to see him, there with the organization and giving his support, even if it's not on the field. DeAnthony Thomas returned to training camp, but was given the day off Sunday. And, to be honest with you, I don't know what to think about that. The inconsistency of Thomas really just leaves question marks, and I just wonder when the Chiefs organization is just going to kind of throw in the towel with him. If you really want to be on the team, you need to be at practice. You got to show us something, or you're going to get cut loose. You can't be a lazy player. You got to learn the playbook, and you really, really, really got to give it your all. So I hope that he returns and he does better than he ever has, because he's going to have to. We've got too many skill set players and guys that we brought in around him that he's not not really an impact player, more of a depth position. So we'll keep an eye on him and see what happens there. But it's just one of those things where every team has these players, and he just needs to step it up. Eric Berry, I love this, and this is not a surprise to any of you, not a surprise to me at all. Berry lands a spot on the all-comeback team, and I hope he never has to land on this list again. I hope he stays healthy throughout his entire career, and I hope he comes back stronger than ever. And really, there's been no question marks for Eric Berry in training camp. So it's really nice to hear that he's come back strong, he's ready to go, and he's out there making an impact immediately, just like we expect Eric Berry to do. And that's part of Eric Berry strong. He's just such a great guy, makes such a big impact, and has, so many motivational skills and qualities to him that he just brings a lot to the table. So it's really nice to see him get back on the field. And our defense is really being overlooked right now, and there's a lot of key additions, a lot of key opponents, and we're really, really making a strong push here. There's really not a whole lot of reason to be worried about our defense. Just keep that in mind. Defense wins championships, but also when you have possibly the most high-profile offense in the history of the NFL, I think that I don't want to say a mediocre, an above-average defense will work. But we're missing key points here. I think that Anthony Hitchens has really been overlooked, and I really want Chiefs Kingdom to know that Anthony Hitchens is such a huge, huge deal for the Kansas City Chiefs. He brings a lot to the table, and he is relentless. He's aggressive. He gets to the ball. He attacks, and he is coming to take your head off. So just keep your eye on him. I wish that we would do some more interviews and reports about him, because he has really just been put back in the shadow, and we don't understand just how much he brings to the table. So I challenge all of you to look at some videos, look at some highlights of him, and really understand what we have in Hitchens. It's a big acquisition, and we're really, really gonna thrive and blossom with him in our linebacking core. So with that being said, I would like to switch over to the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, that has been the focus, for the last 5 months or so. But there was an awesome statement made by Tyreek Hill. And I really, really, really enjoy this. It is said that there is untapped potential for Hill and the Chiefs that we may finally see in 2018. And Hill, this is a quote from Hill. It said, Pat Mahomes is the first guy that I've played with that has the arm strength to hit him in stride. And I love that. He said he is the only quarterback ever who can hit him in stride. And that's such an amazing thing. That's such a big deal. And, he also wanted to touch base that that's not a knock on any other quarterback. But when you have world-class speed, you got to have really perfect accuracy to hit a player like that in stride. So that's really exciting to hear, and that's something that we really, really, really need to look forward to. With Hill complimenting, Watkins, or Watkins complimenting Hill, it's really nice. And that's also something that Hill touched base on, is that, Hill and Watkins push each other every day in practice, and they're wanting to look. They challenge each other on who can catch the most balls in practice, who can make the DB fall, break his ankles or something like that, and that's what it's all about. Going out there and having fun and competing with your brothers. But I guess there's a question that still remains. Is Hill really worried about being on the receiving end as many times as Watkins will, and he's not so much. He says I'm going to be a guy who makes big plays, and Sammy's going to be the guy who makes big plays also. We've got what it takes to go all the way, and I feel like the addition of Sammy helps us because we've got more weapons on the field now. So I really like that selfless behavior from Hill, and he's kind of been like that since day one, having to prove himself, and he already had Travis Kelce around. So, the impact that Hill and Kelce already had, and then Watkins, they're selfless players. They just want to win a championship, and they know that they can. And it's really great because all those weapons are on the same page. And when it comes to how they want to play together this season and the goals they have set for the team. And so none of them are selfish, and all of them want to win. They already talked about as an offense, and we already know what we want, and we already know what's at hand. They just want to win. They just want to win. It's not about numbers. It's not about stats. It's not about who's going to make the Pro Bowl. It's not about who's going to have a 1,000-yard season or have double-digit touchdowns. It's about the end goal, winning a Super Bowl. And please tell me, Kansas City, and I could be wrong here, but when was the last time that we really heard these words come out of, the Kansas City Chiefs organization? It's just truly a selfless team, and they're meshing together so well. And even when mistakes happen, they rally around each other and they lift each other up mentally. So that's a huge, huge deal. And you see them in the huddle, you see them communicate at, during, and after practice, and it's just such an exciting thing. The excitement for them is real. They know the implications too. Each one of these players know that we have the talent to make it to a Super Bowl, and that is the only goal in that organization, and I love that. I love that. So I want to go ahead and move on here. I want to touch base on the Brashad Braylon situation. And, as excitement falls off about the possibility of signing Braylon, remember, we're not out of contention. The Chiefs did offer Braylon a one-year deal between $7 and $8 million. And he walked away and went to explore all of his other options. But just remember, Chiefs Kingdom, it is a business at the end of the day, and the man has a family to take care of. And I understand, I'm sure that there's fans sitting there right now like $7 to $8 million. I would kill to have that. And, hey, that's one of those things that it's a business, folks. It's a business, and he has moved on, and he's visited the Colts, the Ravens, the Jets, the Browns, and now the Panthers are looking to get in the mix after an injury of one of their cornerbacks. So, I'll keep you posted on that, and we'll see what happens here in the upcoming week. I don't see him being on the market too much longer. He's going to have to make a choice, and it just seems like there's a lot of interest in him. So he's a pretty dynamic player. We'd love to have him, but I don't think it's going to, kill our chances of Super Bowl not having him. So, don't get held up too much on Braylon. It'll happen. What team it's going to be, we don't know. But that's okay. That's okay. It's not a worry, Chiefs Kingdom. We've got a lot of players in place, and I think that everything's gonna be just fine. And that's what training camp is all about. Is mending these players together. Eli Rogers. Okay, we did not land Eli Rogers. He went ahead and went back to the Steelers and signed a one-year deal. That would have been a great pickup too, but I just want Chiefs Kingdom to know we can't have them all. We can't have them all. And if we brought Eli Rogers, on the team, where would that leave Chris Conley? Where would that leave? I would hate to see him get pushed out the door after, years of success here because we picked up Eli Rogers. I think that he can be just as big of an impact or even more of an impact. So we'll see how that plays out. But, obviously Eli Rogers is off the table. Not a big deal, Kansas City. Not a big deal. So Chiefs practice. I believe it was Monday that Pat Mahomes went 19 of 21 with a long over the top touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill and Chris Conley. The Chiefs aren't in pads, and it's not particularly competitive practice. And Mahomes is throwing against backup defenders, but still, that shows his arm strength. He's hitting Tyreek Hill in stride. He's hitting Sammy Watkins in stride. He's making great passes. He's also making a few mistakes, but this is what everybody wanted us to know is, we're going to go through a few growing pains with Mahomes. He's a leader. He's taking control of this team, but we have to understand the dynamics of the progression of, a second-year quarterback starting in the NFL. Nothing's perfect. We had just about as close to perfect as possible with Smith, but he was a game manager. But I'd rather have a risk taker. I'd rather have somebody who creates plays other than trying not to make mistakes, because I think if you weigh out the two, it's going to work in our benefit. There's going to be more interceptions, and I think we know that, as fans and as an organization. But that comes with being a gunslinger. That comes with having confidence. And sometimes confidence can get the best of you, but those are the things that he's going to tweak during the season. But Mahomes needs to understand that we need to have a strong start to the season, because the first 6 games are, that is a tough schedule. So he needs to come out on fire. Our team needs to come out on fire, and I think they will. So no worries there either, Kansas City. Kareem Hunt. It was nice to see him get back on the field. He's making up for lost time in practice, and he got the ball 3 of the first 4 plays, and that's extremely impressive. I know that. There's no question marks with Hunt. We know he's going to come back out there and just kill the game. So, it's an exciting time to be a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and I just really, really look forward to what we bring to the table. And I have an interview here with Andy Reid, and I hope that this plays and loads. I'm having problems with networks this morning, so we'll go ahead and play that. And he's going to start with the injury report. But he's touching base on how important the preseason will be. So here is that interview.
Injuries go. Ligwe has a foot strain, and then Reeser has a quad strain. Those would be the only new ones. And then Lampkin, Reggie, and West did not practice or participate in this today. All right, so with that, we had a 10-10-10 practice today. Able to work on some specific situations, and it's carded up, but yet it's fast. So it's good work for him, but at the same time, we're able to work on situational football there. So with that, time's yours. No, it's progress, I'd tell you. Yeah.
Andy, generally speaking, when it's your guys against your guys, how do you determine good defense versus bad offense?
Yeah, so I'm the head coach, so I don't have a good play. So if if the offense wins, then that's not good. Defense, likewise. So what you expect is it to go back and forth, like a good boxing match, right? So they're back and forth, and they're just getting after each other, and you want production on each one. The thing that I try to look at the most are we assignment sound, right? So if both sides are doing that, then you stand a chance, and we're asking them to do a lot.
Okay. So, like I said, I am having network problems, but that is enough of a clip for us to understand that, like Coach Reid said, it's a boxing match back and forth between, our offense and defense. And so it's nice to see the big plays from both sides. But just understand that these are progressions. This is a progressive thing. It's not all going to come at once. But it's just really exciting. This is a great time in Chiefs Kingdom, and it's something for everyone to get excited about, and it's something for the NFL to be scared about. I don't think, as an organization, the NFL has ever really been like, hey, watch out for the Chiefs. It's always been, hey, there's holes here, there's holes there, there's this, there's that. One thing I know about life and one thing I know about football, nothing's perfect. If it was perfect, it wouldn't be fun. If it was perfect, there wouldn't be any excitement. So just remember that, Chiefs Kingdom. Super, super excited to get this season started. And like I said on the last podcast, I hope you all come party with me and tailgate. I look to be at the Chiefs home opener, and I'm really, really excited about that. Real excited. So, this is a loaded broadcast. There was a lot of news to touch base on, and I'm going to leave you with this, Kansas City. And the next few weeks, hey, stock up on your Chiefs gear. Get those tickets ordered. Buy your parking pass. Make those plans. Hey, if you want catering during tailgating, if you're trying to have a tailgate party, get that stuff set up, because now is the time. That is just how close we are to the season, Kansas City. And I know that each and every one of you, your hearts are poured into this, and the excitement's real. This is probably the best outlook of Kansas City Chiefs organization that we've ever had, compared to the days of Lenny Dawson. And I wasn't even alive during that. And that's one of those things. 49 years, folks. 49 years since we've hit the Super Bowl. And it's just nice. We're not talking playoffs anymore, folks. We're not talking playoffs. We're talking Super Bowl. And the last 5 years, we have been projected to make the playoffs. And it seems like that was our ceiling. But there is no ceiling anymore. Chiefs Kingdom, we have torn that ceiling down. We don't have a closed stadium. We have an open air stadium, and we're the loudest in the world. So there is no ceiling. And keep that in mind. Hey, we might have the most potent offense in the history of the NFL. So like I said in the last podcast, let's break that noise record again. There's no ceiling. The sky's the limit. Let's go Chiefs. Let's get us on the field. Let's get this last week over with, and let's head into preseason. I can't wait for Patty Cakes to get on the field and sling the ball to Hill and hunt the ball, and let's get Kelsey some touchdowns, and let's see what Watkins can do. This is so exciting. And it's amazing, because I don't think that there's been any organization, as long as I can remember, that has really, really just flipped entirely and had the projection that we've had. Look at all the new key additions to our team. Look at everything that we're doing, and the outlook on that. I want you all to think about that. Any other team that would be going through a situation like this with any other front office, this would be a quote-unquote rebuilding season. Think about that, Kansas City. It would be a rebuilding season for any other team. And what are we doing? We're talking Super Bowl. We know what we have. There are no question marks. And that's exciting. That is very, very exciting. I know I use that word a lot, but my heart pounds out of my chest when I think about the Kansas City Chiefs. When I watch Mahomes sling that ball all over the field and hit Tyreek Hill in stride, and you watch Hunt just, break that 80-yard touchdown. This is just exciting, folks. This is just exciting. So I look to broadcast, here in the upcoming days. I'd like to do one every day, and that will definitely start here when preseason starts. There's always news, but keep in mind, some of that news is minute. Some of that news, it's not podcast worthy. So, I cannot wait for this preseason to start, and we're almost there. So I will speak with you all here very, very soon. I hope y'all have a wonderful day and a wonderful work week. This is Richard Smith with the Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour podcast, where we talk about all things Kansas City Chiefs. Have a great day, Kansas City. Go Chiefs!